listen to the recording. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We're going to be walking through each site. It's super important that we just do this part of the night so we're on the same page. My goal is to surprise no one. Surprises are good with awesome birthday parties, but not for a 3-day work trip where people have to do stuff. But uh love everyone who is offering to just participate with Someone Cares local mission project. It's super cool that we have 5 churches participating in this. I guess the Cliff Note version is Pastor Dex might tune in here in a second to talk, but working with him in collaboration, we got $60,000 from the city in grant money and whatnot. And also with Matt Armstrong and his business was able to grant some of the money to us. But that money is then going to doing all these sites that all of our youth groups get to do together. And it's going to be pretty amazing. And we're going to be across 4 different sites coming together for worship, teaching, and games together. And this is, in a lot of ways, a dream come true of student ministries and churches coming together for, I like to think, something really cool, really big. And then we're celebrating Thursday night with a block party up in Gary where we're going to share the gospel and have a good time together. But like I said, we're going to go site by site. It's 6 p.m. I want to serve you guys' time, and we're going to plow through this. So if y'all can go into the chat, you're going to see 2 Google links there. If you guys can find the one that's Someone Cares 2025 Logistics. If you were to pull that one up, we are going to start with Glen Park. My goal is to, once we plow through each, like I said earlier, we're going to go through each site. And if you are a skilled worker that's going to be at this site, after that one, after it's all said and done, you're clear to like check and being like, all right, I'm out. Unless you're gonna be staying with us later with like the dinner, worship, teaching, and that stuff. Um, those are the things we're gonna be doing. Actually, yeah, if you just tuned in, you're not gonna be able to see it. So let me throw that in there for y'all. I'm gonna send that right there's that for you. Thanks, Dwayne. All right. So you can pull that up. So I'm looking at Glen Park right now. So if you were to go to the bottom there, you're going to see a bunch of tabs. You're going to see #1, Glen Park. At Glen Park, we have Chris Cunningham. We have Tom Camp and his apprentice, Owen. I don't know if they're in this chat yet. I'm recording it. I'll send it to them. At this site, we are going to be doing a platform, grills, beautified benches, roof, picnic tables, a mural, playground, flowers, and common cleanup. We're going to walk through each one of those and what that looks like. Also, if you were to go to the supply category, the other sheet that I put in the chat, you'll be able to see this. The students we have at this place is you can go to the bottom there and you'll see 37 students total who are there. Alex and Brooke will be there, and then we'll have the other project leads and site leads who are going to be there. We do have a med pro going around available at each campus or each site. God forbid anyone hurts themselves, but she's going to be available if people have just like bumps and bruises that they're going to have for med pro. But let's walk through this. You're going to be doing grills. So we bought new kind of those charcoal grills, Chris, that you're going to have at that site. You're going to rip out the old ones, put in the new ones, concrete bags. So we got that going on. Uh, we have Beautify. There's a bunch of overgrown just trees and things that I didn't know there was actually like a trail that went through there, but there's a trail hidden in all the undergrowth. So let's find it. And so we're gonna do that. Benches, those have been delivered. We just ordered benches from Home Depot, and those are already delivered to Flourish Church, and you just have to assemble them. So they're wood, standard picnic benches, and those just need to be assembled. The roof is going to be the more significant project. And so that is there's this overhang. You were there, you know what it looks like, Chris. But that one is we're ripping off the roof and putting on a new one. And the shingles are already at Flourish Church. We got those donated from M&M. And you're going to be leading the kids safely to under Tom Camp to put a new roof on this thing. So new OSB boards, new shingles, all that's going to be awesome. The picnic tables, like I said, we got those. But the benches, there's like one bench you have to rip out the boards and put new ones in for like a park bench. You're gonna do picnic tables, like I said. The mural is actually gonna be something that we might have to put a little bit of so that's on that abandoned building right there, right, Chris? Remember if you walked there, you saw that? All that needs to be ripped out, like all the stuff around it needs to be gone. And if you are looking at it facing west, um, basically the wall that's adjacent to the overhang, the pavilion, that right there where we need to use painter's tape and spell "Someone Cares." And with black paint, y'all going to spell that across it. We have paint rollers, and I have a paint sprayer that uh that Butterfly Dreams has to use for their thing on the first day, but hopefully on the ninth you can use it for like spraying the letters. So on the first day it'd be awesome if all that brush can be cleared out and you can like use a group of kids to actually spell out "Someone Cares" across that. That's going to be um take a significant amount of your time. But so hopefully on the ninth you can actually spray it and paint it. Flowers, we have flowers from Andy they're gonna put there, and then there's common general cleanup around. And so that's gonna be on the 7th or the 8th, 9th, and 10th, Tuesday through Thursday. This is Glen Park. Do you have any significant questions about this, Chris, that you want to comment on?
No, but can you hear
He's
me?
like, I'm good.
No, I got it. One of our leaders coming, Brooke, is an art teacher at Victory Christian. So I'm just gonna sick her on that mural.
Boom! Look at that. Lord's good. Love it.
Yeah,
All right. What else? You good?
I feel good.
Sweet. So that's where you're kind of just ensuring that all kids are listening and staying on task and just plowing away. That is Glen Park. And the work day here for each of us is essentially 8:30 to 3:30. And so we're leaving Flourish Church at 8:30 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I know each youth group is kind of doing their own thing at night, but then we're reconvening um, at Flourish Church and ensuring that we're all leaving from Flourish Church at 8:30 and then we're getting back to Flourish Church by 3:30 to 4 o'clock. Or starting to clean up the site at 3:30, leave by 4 p.m. And then we have a shower trailer at Flourish so everyone can like just go through it. And so everyone's gonna get a shower in a shower trailer with a schedule of guys and gals going in there in time slots. It's gonna be fun. All right, moving on. Midtown. This one, Andy Mulder's the project lead. Here we have Bill and Ray Hall. Here we're going to be doing a platform, raised bed. I skipped the platform for you, Chris, because I that shouldn't have been in there. I don't think we're building a platform there. I think that was just left over there on accident, so I just skipped that. Um, we're doing a platform, flower bed, beautify, fence, grass, mural, benches, common, pavers. So right here, Andy has a drawing already for this. He's ready to rock and roll. And at this site, we have a lot of Cross Point and some Bethel kids there. So if you're going to go there to the bottom, you'll see 21 kids needed there. And this is where we have a lot of good work to do. So Andy's going to be leveling it, and then we're going to put in some raised flower beds that they're just what are those called? Troughs. And then we have Ray Hall, who owns a fencing company. He's going to lead kids to build a fence around the garden or the community garden. Andy's going to help those kids to build a platform there with Bill. And then we're going to have just general grass pickup and just a lot of good brute labor with this. I want to admit Ray right now and where a lot of good work with this one. Andy's put a lot of thought process into this, so he can rock and roll. But do you have any comments, Andy, with this one that you want known to this group so we can best prepare? Or are you ready to go? And Ray once he taps in.
No, I think between me and Ray and whoever else is there, I think we'll be able to get a lot of stuff done. You just mentioned those planter boxes. Is there supposed to be dirt for those?
I thought we said we were going to use the dirt that you move for the pavers to put
Oh
underneath.
yeah, you're right. We can do that. Okay. Sorry.
Cool. Yep. So he has a drawing for that. So once the leaders get there, just take lead from Andy, Bill, and Ray. Ray, you just tuned in, but we're at your site right now. Right here in the thread, you can see the logistics. I'm going to put that in there actually one more time because if you just joined, I don't know if you can see it. There you go. But there I just walked through a Ray that you just have you have a mural that Dexter has a guide doing a mural on the shipping containers, and those will be there like starting at the end of this week. And so they're going to be off it right there on that back driveway, if you remember that, Andy. And he is
Yeah.
actually starting the um painting on that now. So that's rocking and rolling. So that is Midtown. And again, this site, you're going to be from 8:30 to 3:30, 3:30 to 4 cleanup, and then going back to Flourish. This is Midtown. All right, let's move on to Gleason Park. This one, we kind of threw a lot of people at it because this is the one we have to have done by Thursday by 4 p.m. because we're having a block party at this site that has a lot of stuff going on. And so we have to really plow at this one. So basically, a good rule of thumb, if you are not at Gleason Park and your kids have absolutely destroyed your project, so let's say it's like Wednesday night or early Thursday, rule of thumb, you're sending them to Gleason Park. That's just like what we're doing because we're just gonna work to get all that done and to um make sure this is ready for the block party that's going to come up. So Gleason Park, here we have Neil and then also Joe. I believe, yeah, Joe. He is going to be helping with project leads, and then we have Joe Best there. So I have two Joes. Sorry to confuse you, Joe, but there's two Joes. And here we're doing a playground, beautify, a sign, pathway, pet station, flower bed, bench, and table. So the biggest thing here is this playground that uh other Joe, Joe Best and other Joe and Neil are going to do. It's we're ripping out a swing set and other things there, and we are putting in two new T swing sets and a climber. And to do this is we're gonna have to do a lot of digging, a lot of ripping stuff out, pulling it out. And then we have a semi that's delivering 65 railroad ties to this site that the kids have to unload. And they're using that as the perimeter around the playground and the flower beds that we're going to put in the corner. And oh, Adam and Rob Smith, thank you. Sorry, I forgot they're coming. Sorry. And Adam and Bob Smith, y'all are going to be there helping as well. If you go to the bottom there, you're going to see the onslaught of everyone who we have there, and Claire's going to be there. This one is just absolutely just rocking and rolling to get this cleared out. The sign that has to be like kind of hand painted a little bit or just like stenciled. And so that sign's going to say Blossoms of Change. That's part of the organization at IU Northwest with the sponsors. So I have an example of the type of sign we're going to do that I'm going to send in an email later today. But it's a picture of a really simple sign we're going to do there. The flower bed is literally using railroad ties to build the flower bed and just correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, you just have flowers you're throwing there. Um, a pet station. I didn't know a pet way station are stupid expensive. Those are ridiculous expensive. But we have a pet way station we got to build there. And then tables that we're going to be buffing. We're going to redo a bench there and just get this place ready for Thursday after the block party. The block party is 5:30 to 7:30. Everyone's starting to arrive at 4 p.m. And 4 p.m. is when we're doing starting to grill. Joe Best has a DJ who's going to be there. We have bounce houses and some other just fun activities that all of our kids can just help celebrate and their families. And then we're asking that kids Thursday get picked up from the block party by 8 to 8:15, ready to roll out to go home. This is Gleason Park. Bob, Adam, Joe, do you guys have any questions about this site?
Yeah, Foster, when do you want the flowers at each one of these sites? Like the last day, probably, or what are you thinking?
I mean, if you think, yeah, probably on Thursday. That probably makes sense. Yeah, if you get the flowers there at each site by Thursday, July 10th, that'd be great.
Do you have any kind of how big the spaces are that we need to get them for?
The for Gleason, I assume each space is gonna be like, is it like 2 by 8? Like, or how long?
Okay,
Yeah, something like that.
small then.
Yeah, or maybe two by
Okay.
four or 4 by 8. We can probably do that.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Yeah, 4 by 8 railroad ties.
Okay.
We're gonna cut them up and use those.
Okay.
Basically, for y'all at Gleason, be ready just to have those kids. The first day is going to be a lot of hauling. Kids need to rip up old railroad ties, rip up old stuff, and it's going to be a lot of brute labor getting it going. And so,
Hey Foster,
yeah,
is there like a representative for the college kids that might be there, and like what are we supposed to do
yeah,
as
that
far
right,
as like
yeah.
mixing crowds? You know what I mean?
Thank you for bringing that up. So right now, I had a meeting with them just the other day, and they need to have a represent. Basically, I was just told don't expect them to come.
Okay.
Like, but if they do, the current standard is everyone who does come has to be like written down on a form, and they have to have an actual leader there who's a part of it. Like I
Yeah.
told them to their faces and to Dexter, we at each site let it be known. It's like there's no willy-nilly of like, hey, I just rolled up, I'm gonna do this. It's like, no, you have to be documented. I don't know who you are, you can't be here. And so
Yeah.
that's what we're doing at each site. And so especially for y'all, that's a good question with like the different partners there. It's like if they were to join, it's going to be a they have to have supervision, which I hope they do. That would be great. I had a great meeting with them. It was wonderful. But each one has to get that going. And I think it'd be cool.
Okay. We may just want to like isolate them to one project too that they could work on together.
Yep. And
The,
that
the
one was
other
going to be their kindness garden that they're working on. So they have a bunch of
Oh yeah.
colorful rocks that they're doing. And then also they mentioned of going around actual to the community, inviting people to the block party.
Okay, cool. The other question I had too, they had mentioned like us using their bathrooms. Is that still
Yep.
like the plan? Okay.
Yep. So that building that's literally right there across the way right there that you saw, that main campus building right across the street, we're allowed to go use those restrooms.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
That's all I had. Yep.
Sweet. Great questions. That is Gleason Park. Now we're at Butterfly Dreams. This one's another if Gleason is full of people, we're sending everyone to Blood Butterfly Dreams. This one we have Mike Vermeulen and Scott Irwin. And then we also have other leaders here at the bottom. We have Rob and I think yeah, Rob. And so here you'll go to list. We have 36 students who are at this property. And at this one, we're going to be redoing a basketball court, a crosswalk, gutters, beautify, building a library, platform, a tire mountain, and a common. So this one has a bunch of different things we're doing. It's just good for us to be aware that if you get done early, you might get sent to one of these places. And so the basketball court is pretty dilapidated, full of trash, and everything's broken. So we're going to be respraying the lines, putting new netting on it, and just getting it all ready. Doing a lot of trash pickup. The tire mountain's pretty substantial, and so Andy's gonna be dropping off a bunch of mulch there. And so just imagine gonna be doing mulch and tires, just like filling someone with like a bunch of tires, like it looks like a mountain, filling it with mulch to hold it down. But each tire is gonna be like sprayed a different color. And this is where the paint sprayer is going to be first. So before the paint sprayer comes to you, Chris, they're going to have it there to make sure they don't have to like roll paint like a bunch of tires, but just spray it down and call it a day. And so that's going to take a lot of work. They're putting gutters on a pavilion, painting like actual crosswalks to go across street, fixing these crosswalks because they have a lot of just trees and brush in the way, building a library there and an actual platform like an outdoor stage. You already have those dimensions that Scott Irwin's emailed each of us that we have that. And then common cleanup. This is this site where there's a lot of work. We're also going back in the woods. We're building like a tire wall to stop people from dumping in the woods right behind it. And so that's what they're going to be doing there with tires. And lastly, with tires, they're building like these tire seats. And these are, you're putting like 2 to 3 tires, stack them up, and they're going to be strapped down together with wiring. And then you spray paint them and put like a little board on it to make a seat out of it. And they're going to be hunkered down so people can't take them. That is the 4 sites that we're doing. This is also being recorded. So if you're like, I wish I knew this detail, I'm recording it. I'm going to email it to all y'all later. These are each site from Glen Park, Midtown, University, Gleason Park to Butterfly Dreams. Those are the sites. And so before I transition to the schedule of folks who are going to be participating with like shower trailer, dinner, worship, teaching, games. So, are there any questions about the sites?
Foster, it'll be good to mention the the Butterfly Dreams is getting that semi-load of mulch,
Yes.
and so somebody is going to need to make sure that they're there to sign and tell them where to dump. I'm not going to be there, so
Okay.
that's going to come on the first day. and that will have to probably just get dumped in the street right by that park.
Okay.
And I can get an ETA on when they'll be there. They're usually pretty good about timing, so I'll find that out. And then what was the other lot that's getting mulched?
Yeah,
The other one's getting 40 yards somewhere.
that is Glen Park. No.
Okay, so
That's Glen Park. So Glen Park is getting it for the playground there that
yeah,
Chris is going to be
yeah, so
leveling and all.
that'll be two different deliveries of 20 yards each, and somebody again will need to make sure that they're there and tell them where to dump it.
Cool.
Just keep that in mind. So
Perfect. Yeah. Because with Gleason, who are doing the playground, part of the playground order is having this specialty playground. It's not mulch, it's just stuff that's going to be for that one. Because swings, and learned a lot about playground safety from Joe, if you can hear me. It's pretty remarkable. So those are the 4 sites. Any questions about those 4 sites? Great comment, Andy. Anything else before we transition to the
Foster,
schedule?
Joe S.
Joe
What
S.
are you guys moving ties and mulch and stuff around with?
I have a bunch. The railroad ties, I'm using brute labor of students, and then I'm having with mulch, I have a bunch of pitchforks.
Okay, so no type of equipment or anything for this stuff that's getting ripped up.
Nope.
Okay, I might be able to get my hands on some railroad tie tongs, which will make them easier to travel with. Would you like me to see if I can get a couple sets of those?
That would be one. That's right, Joe. You're the railroad guy. That
I am.
Oh my word, that would be amazing. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could
No promises, but I'll talk to my team, not my team, but my counterparts in the city tomorrow and see if they have a couple extra sets they can spare.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you so much.
You got it.
Foster, you have wheelbarrows or just pitchforks?
I have pitchforks, and we're getting wheelbarrows from the city.
Okay, that's
Yep.
going to be very important.
Yep, I'm going to confirm with that actually that they are coming today.
Okay.
Thank you.
How many wheelbarrows are we talking? Because I can bring wheelbarrows. I have probably 6-ish.
I would bring I want to say all of them because these are a lot at each site. So yes, we need
Ray, our site, I'll have my skid loader there, but the other sites is probably where they need more wheelbarrows than anything.
Yes.
Because I mean, I'm bringing in some smaller machinery myself for what I have to do. But the other question I had was if you need another paint sprayer, not really a question, but I have a commercial sprayer that you guys could use if you need another sprayer.
I mean, yes, if we can get that to Chris as soon as possible, that'd be wonderful. So let's make a note of that we'll get a paint sprayer on day one from Ray to Chris. And then still with all those wheelbarrows, Ray, if we can just today mark that we will use them, and then by tomorrow I'll know where they're going. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other good comments? Sweet. All right. So at this point, Andy, Rob, I believe Ray, but whoever is not going to stay for the actual program, and y'all are free at this point to skedaddle. Super appreciate y'all. And we're now going to transition to when we get back to Flourish and we walk through what the night looks like there.
Sounds
And
good.
student leaders, please stay on. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. So now on that same Someone Cares 2025 logistics, if you want to pull open the schedule, that's on the bottom tab there. You can flip over to there. I want to walk through the schedule with y'all so we're on the same page. So the Someone Cares 2025 logistics Google Sheet. On the bottom, it says schedule. So looking at Tuesday, July 8th, this is where we're gathering at Flourish Church. And then we're starting our work sites by 9 a.m. 7 a.m. is when people are starting to arrive. Bethel, our kids are sleeping at Flourish Church. And so they're going to be going there and checking in their things. Everyone else who's not sleeping there, so Flourish, Crosspoint, Klein, Chris, the Living Hope, y'all are welcome to start arriving probably around like 7:30 or say 7:45. Like 7:45 to 8. I think that's super reasonable. Um, actually, I'm just gonna say 7:45 because people are gonna show up late anyways. So 7:45, tell all your kids to get there because then once we're all there, we're gonna gather in the auditorium. We're going to do rah roo ha ha, celebrate. This is great, and then we are going to be transporting each site. It's important at this point. Each site needs to have a generator. Um, I think each of us are going to be bringing one or finding one that we can have. I know Andy and a couple other workers said they have them, but just so that we can put it together. Also, one thing that Sarah and I are going to do by tomorrow afternoon is we're going to put like little group chats, our emails together at each site so that y'all can like talk to yourselves. And so after today, you're gonna be like, all right, I'm at this site. Here are my leaders. This is what's expected of me. I have all this list. Rock and roll, so that you don't have to do like big group emails to everyone. We're gonna put you each in your group email so you can directly talk to your project lead, who's been thoroughly talked to, who knows what they're bringing. But 7:45 Ruhaha stretch. This is great. And then we're also in charge of transportation for each of our kids. And so from you guys are getting the Flourish, so we're going to be, I know we are renting a couple of minibuses from Ileana to transport some of our kids. And so we're going to be using those. So each church, however y'all seem fit to move your kids around, Godspeed. If it does work, we have room in different buses, more than willing to be flexible there. But just so we have it on our minds today, it's like, okay, we need to go from point A to point B to point C back to point A with our kids. But going through the schedule, we're leaving, this should be representing the schedule, but we're leaving Flourish Church at 8:30 to start working by 9 a.m. So we're dropping off, getting going. Every kid has a packing list, so every kid should bring their own pair of gloves. And we're going to start working. Lunch is going to be from 12 to 12:30. Each day lunch has been donated by graciously from Culver's, Chick-fil-A, or Jill Sosimo's. We have allergy options for kids. We're represented at each place. And so I think Tuesday is Chick-fil-A, Wednesday's Culver's, Thursday's Jill Sosimo's. Is that right, Sarah? I think so. But each day we have allergy stuff figured out for every kid who put it in the form. And then once we work from 12:30 to 3:30, we're going to clean up the site from 3:30 to 4. And then travel back between 4 and 5:30 to travel back to Flourish. Why we have an hour and a half is because kids are going to be leaving at different times from their sites. And in that hour and a half is where we're going to have our really regimented shower schedule. So we're going to do girls first, then guys. Girls will have literally, we thought about this, they have 5 minutes. And so it's literally, we're hooking up. It's like, go in there, shower, rock and roll. We're going to have the female leader out there. And then so we're going to go in waves. I think is it 8 or 10? How many person shower is it, Sarah? Is there an 8-person or 10-person shower? It doesn't really matter. Regardless, is you have eight girls going at a time, and it's a nice shower trailer, but we're rocking and rolling. So once we go through
putting
all
comments in the chat too.
what?
If you guys have the chat open, I'm just putting side commentary there as well.
Thank you, Sarah. So we're going to be doing between 4 and 5:30. We're going through the showers, and once you get through the showers, you can hang out. And then 5:30 to 6 dinner, and Joe and Christina and Lori, they're being super gracious with our dinners. And then we're going to have dinners from 5:30 to 6, and then worship and teaching from 6 to 7. Chris is going to be teaching Tuesday. I'll do Wednesday. And then afterwards, we have late night games with all of our kids together from 7 to 8. Might go to 8:30. But Scott Irwin has a bunch of fun, just outdoor games. And like I was reading through it the other day, and it's going to be awesome. And then once like 8 p.m. ish hits, we're all going in for the night. So we're going to go inside. Everyone else can go to wherever they're sleeping. And then we rock and roll the next day. So Wednesday, gather at 8:30 and literally do the same playbook as we did Tuesday. And then Thursday, 8:30. And then instead of ending at Flourish Church that day, we're going to be ending at the block party that is from 5:30 to 7:30. We're still allowing people after the workday to go shower. Just at the end of the day, if there's not time for some people, I just want us to prep all of our kids now for something. I know this will happen on Thursday. We'll have people crying for justice because I know what's going to happen is one group won't be able to shower and another group will be able to shower. But at the end of the day, the Lord lets it rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. And so I'm just looking at it just like, you know what? Some group got done and you guys are at Gleason. I'm just looking at Gleason Park kids that I'm like, you guys just got to stay here and you just get to be smelly for maybe. I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe it won't. But just if you can join me in encouraging our kids to being okay with if they don't get a shower on the last day. Um, but 8 p.m. pickup on Thursday, and that is the schedule. For lunches and dinners, like I said, we have dietary restrictions if they've been noted in the sign up sheet. We are taking care of each dietary restriction if kid needs that. And that in a nutshell is Someone Cares 2025. Now after talking through the schedule, are there any comments? They're saying like you missed it, Foster.
Assuming all the tables and chairs will be set up every night for food, or do we need to bring stuff from Bethel?
No, they will have stuff there at Flourish. If they don't,
Okay.
I will follow with you tomorrow. But they
Sounds
should
good.
have stuff there at Flourish.
Okay.
Foster, Matt Armstrong said that he had talked to you about the fact that Cross Point people weren't going to be staying overnight, and that the question became when showers would happen. And clearly our kids, we don't have time to go back and shower and make it back to Flourish.
Well,
So-
the showers are at Flourish, so the kids are welcome. The Crosspoint kids can shower at Flourish.
They can shower at Flourish?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
all this is for. So after the sites, that's what the shower trailer is for. And so every youth group here, after you're done with your site, you're going back to Flourish and everyone's showering there. That's all. That's why that's part of that registration. So that makes it easy for all of our kids. Because that was a meeting itself as a shower trailer. We're saying like we
Okay.
went from offering no showers all week for kids. I'm like, I'm as a student pastor, I can see the emails now if I offer no showers for people.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you for clarifying that. But yes,
Yeah.
shower trailers for every youth group.
Okay.
Yes, all the youth groups are included in that whole evening programming from like
Yep.
showers to dinner to the game, teaching.
All of it.
It's all of us together. So your kids should still pack like a little bag with like their towel and clean clothes for the evening part,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
even though
Appreciate
they're not sleeping there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah, thank you for clarifying that. Yep. But anything else with schedule, food, or other details you think would be super beneficial to have?
I've got
If
something.
not, what was that, Chris?
I've got something.
Yeah.
This is a small thing, but the leader form, could you reopen that until tomorrow midnight, just for a couple of our people?
I just reopened it like 2 seconds
Oh,
ago.
thank you. Okay, I'll let them know.
Perfect. At this point, I just can't thank everyone here enough that we're doing this together. It's different. I've definitely had a lot of anxiety with this of like all the things that could go wrong, and this still could go wrong because it's not here. But I'm super excited to partner with y'all with this and to really, I think, just do something really cool. I mean, I was with Dexter today, and I think he's gonna have Gary's mayor there to come and be a part of it. And I'm really passionate of at the end of the day, we're going to be building playgrounds and all this. But at the end of the day, why we named this Someone Cares is because it actually just happened last week in a meeting with someone. They're like, Someone Cares is like, what is that supposed to mean? I'm like, well, Jesus cares. And so that's why we're doing this. And so when it comes Thursday night, and even at the projects, it's just each of us will want to just people to know Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. And I'm really excited about that. And each of you are joining with this, and it's gonna be really cool. And I already had a meeting with a guy who wants to just from ground up build an entire park somewhere up in Gary. I forgot what it was, part of a school. He's like, we gotta start about 2026. And I'm like, well, let's finish this. And so, but it's just cool. And I'm thankful for all of you because I know I'm really sensitive. That's why I want to end the meeting here in the next 3 minutes. I'm really sensitive to all of you guys have jobs, and if you're in ministry, your own churches. And so y'all have a lot going on. Bill, what's your question? Monday?
Yeah. Do you want us up there on Monday for something? Was that what I read in an email or?
Yeah, so yeah, you, me, Scott, and Sarah are going to be up at Flourish prepping. And at the end of the day, all of y'all are invited to come hang out with us. But I'm just going to be getting registration tables ready at Flourish Church and just going through the building. And because once game on's in the morning, my goal is everyone arrives and we're just in and out and going through it. And so if you guys are free, you're good. And thank you. You're gonna be organizing tools, pick up mini buses and all this. Just so this is sake of clarification. Once Sarah and I put all of us in our email groups of what project you're gonna be on, there you can, I'm gonna tag in the master supply list. And that right there, you can see like what materials you're gonna have, but then also in that group of collaborating what tools to bring and all that. Again, your project lead has been really briefed on what to bring. And so like, for example, Mike, Andy Mulder's like bringing the moon and Ray Hall's like bringing the moon. And so you two guys particularly at Midtown, and you're just like, it's like, here I am, Lord, use me. And so it's gonna be great. But besides that, yeah, just ensure there's something missing just to clarify that. But before I pray and dismiss us, is there any other detail that I could, for this group, address that would serve you? Perfect. Well, y'all are great. Super appreciate it. And I'm excited. A week from today, it's going to be wonderful. So let me pray and we will call it. Father, thank you for your kindness. You are so good. And there's a lot of things happening. And I know each church here represented is seeking to this disciple their people. There's 5 different congregations represented in this chat who are all followers of you who are seeking to make more disciples of Jesus. And we ask that this is just a touch point where all of us can kind of merge all those desires together and encourage and deploy the students that make up our student ministries to come alongside one another to really make a difference in our community. And we're excited. We are eager to see what you will do and that it's all about you. And I pray that each of us wouldn't get prideful or cocky or thinking of like, look at all this cool things we've done, but rather each moment our students and us will reflect of like, look how good God is. And we love you. And we ask that people come to know you through this. The gospel will be shared. In Jesus' name, amen. Wonderful. Well, this was wonderful. Appreciate y'all being a part of it. And at this point, you guys are dismissed. I'll stick around for a few minutes if you guys have any questions, but you're good. So, hey Tom Camp, is that you who logged in?
Tom, I'm texting you back because I definitely thought that Owen was using the leader form and he was a student from Crosspoint. So Alana from Crosspoint has been telling me that she's been reaching out to him and saying like, you need to use the student form because his birth year made no sense. So me and Ellen at our office deleted his like leader registration again today. We're like, this guy is using the wrong form again. So, okay, I might have to have you have Owen do it one more time. I apologize so much because that was total miscommunication.
That is okay. It's the first time for everybody. And I was like, wow,
I'm
he's not
so
an adult, but he's not a kid in your youth group. So where does he fall in?
He put Crosspoint in like his birth year. So I'm like, this guy is a Crosspoint student. He keeps using this leader form and he's not a leader. I'm so
That's
sorry.
funny.
I'm gonna message Ellen right now, like not to delete it if he does it again.
Oh.
Right.
Well, hey, Tom, since I have you in here, I'll go back to your site right here. I have Chris Cunningham who's in this chat. He's
Okay.
going to be one of the leaders with you. Uh, I've talked with you about what we're doing here, but nothing's really changed beside nothing really. We're due with the shingles, and the shingles have been delivered to Flourish Church. The boards for the new roof are going to be delivered on Monday. And we have a list of, I'll put this form back in the chat for you so you can open up and see it. What I'm putting in here is the logistics.
Yep.
So if you open that up, you'll be able to go into Glen Park where you and Chris will be at. And there, the kids are going to be sprucing up a playground, putting new mulch down there, planting flowers, building picnic tables, refurbishing benches, clearing out a lot of brush, painting a mural on the side of an abandoned building. And the one of the biggest things of oversight for you that I'm super thankful for is the roof that we're ripping off of this
Right.
covering. And so all the materials are going to be there. And again, I'm 100% trusting your judgment of who and what does who and what, where, how, why. Chris is there to be in your corner. If you have a kid who's saying like, "Put me on the roof," and you're like, "He ain't getting on that roof," Chris is gonna be in your corner, say, "He ain't getting on that roof." um,
Sure.
but yeah, whatever kids you, that said, I do have some, I would like kids involved as much as possible.
Yeah.
And so, all to your judgment. That is, there's nothing new we talked about. That is the site. All the lumber and all that stuff's being delivered. You've been super gracious. You walked through the supplies list already. You noted what tools you had, what you got. And so at this point, you answered all my questions and you have all things. Is there anything I can do to serve you?
No, there is one question I have. If I don't have relationship with kids in advance of this opportunity, could you maybe give me a heads up if they're from your church youth group? Who's the one or two most trustworthy slash lead point kind of people? I could say, hey, I would love for you and you to work together and get this done while I'm helping him and her do whatever. You know what I mean?
That is such a great comment, and absolutely. So how about this? Tomorrow, I told everyone else, Sarah and I are going to put together like just email groups. So
Yep.
every leader who's going to be in your site, so Chris and Alex and Brooke, we're gonna put y'all in an email, and
Good.
then and in that email, so y'all can directly talk to each other about tools, expectations, or whatnot. But in that email, I will put the names of the kids that I know today, that looking at the list in front of me, who I'm like, yeah, these kids I would put on a roof. This kid I want to let near a sidewalk. And so it's
Right. That's it.
yeah, and so I can definitely do that for you. And then
Good.
Chris with his kids as well. So
Okay. Would any scaffolding be helpful? Thinking if I'm building something like that, I have a stretch scaffold which gets to about 13 feet. I've got 5 or 6 different sets of ladders. I don't think I want to work on it more than one side at a time because then I
sure.
sort of see all of what's happening.
Yeah, I'm all for scaffolding. I mean, that's just makes it absolutely. And so short answer is yes. Let's uh let's do that and bring us a couple of ladders. And but again, to your judgment. But I think scaffolding would be super. I see just an email from a parent in my mind of them being appreciative that a kid's on scaffolding and not a ladder. And I think that
Oh,
would be really good.
okay. And then the handling of nail guns. Do I ask the individuals helping me who has any experience with them, or do I keep that up to kind of my apprentice and myself?
Looking at the list of what's in front of me, I would be shocked if anyone has ever touched a nail gun.
Okay.
But that said, it's like this is where I can say it this way to this group. Every one of these kids have filled out a waiver. And so hey, you're not getting in trouble. I'm not getting in trouble. Ain't no
All
one
right.
getting in trouble. Um, and so with that though, again, if this serves you, your judgment of I'm looking at the list as I don't know if a lot of these kids have done a nail gun, but I'm also for them using a nail gun. I'm like, if your judgment saying like, hey, if I'm going to teach you, it's like do this and shoot it here, like go ahead. And
Right.
if you're comfortable with that, if you're saying like,
Yeah.
nope, in my experience, that's always left me bad water, then I don't want to do anything that's against your conscience. Don't do it.
No, what I would rather involve as many kids as meaningfully as possible. So I'm anti-involvement. I'm just, again, I would ask them, I don't want you to be uncomfortable shooting this nail gun. So if you are, don't.
Yep.
But if you're
I
okay with
look
it,
at this list in front of me. I can see every one of these kids be like, give me that gun. And
right?
so it's just like, let's do it safely. But man, Tom, you're awesome. You should come
He's awesome.
serve in youth group with me.
Yeah, right.
Come aboard.
With group experience.
Yeah, let's go.
You
Yeah,
have
and
tons
I-
of experience with teenagers, though.
Yeah, that's true, Sarah. Very true.
Anything else that I could do to serve you, Tom?
No, just my apologies for being a little tardy. I'm at a family get together. We ate dinner, and I looked at my clock and went, "Oh, okay, I'm a little late for the meeting." But
Hey, this is being recorded. We're going to email it out to everyone tomorrow of what we talked about. But essentially, what we talked about with your site, we're talking about right here. Chris is in this call, and we're good to go. So,
good.
Appreciate it. But yeah, we're good to go. I'll send out all these emails all out tomorrow, and I'll talk to y'all later. Okay?
Yeah,
Thank
sounds great.
you.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all.
All right, bye bye.